In recent years, the gaming industry has witnessed a significant surge in the popularity of open world games. These sprawling virtual landscapes, filled with boundless exploration and limitless possibilities, have captivated the imagination of millions of gamers worldwide. The obsession with open world games stems from the ability to offer players unprecedented freedom, immersive experiences, and a sense of adventure. In this video, I'm going to delve into the reasons behind the fascination and enduring appeal of open world games, for the good and for the bad. One of the primary attractions of open world games is the unparalleled sense of exploration and the freedom they provide. Unlike linear games that restrict players to predetermined paths, open world games present vast, seamless environments where players can traverse without constraints. Whether it's scaling towering mountains, venturing into dense forests, or diving into deep oceans, the open world format allows players to shape their own experience. This unrestricted exploration instills a sense of agency, empowering players to decide how they want to navigate the game world and what amount of time they want to spend on each activity, whether it's tackling challenges and interacting with non-playable characters. Open world games are known for their immersive qualities, bringing virtual worlds to life with stunning visuals, detailed environments, and dynamic weather systems. These aspects combine to create a sense of realism that draws players deeper into the game. The meticulous attention to detail in open world games, such as realistic day and night cycles, dynamic ecosystems, and bustling cities, fosters a heightened sense of immersion. And this level of realism allows players to suspend disbelief and become fully engrossed in the virtual world, amplifying the overall gaming experience. Open world games often provide players with a wide range of choices and opportunities for emergent gameplay, from selecting character attributes to deciding the outcome of quests and missions. Players have the ability to shape the narrative and impact the game world. The freedom to choose different playstyles, develop unique strategies, and experience consequences based on individual decisions gives players a sense of agency and personal investment that you may not get in linear style games. And I think the emergent gameplay that arises from the complex interactions between the player, the game world, and its inhabitants, being the NPCs, adds a sort of depth and unpredictability, and a sort of replayability as well to the open world experience. Many open world games boast rich lore and engaging storylines, further fueling the obsession with the genre. The vast landscapes serve as backdrops for epic narratives, filled with intricate plots, memorable characters, and even deeper lore. Players can delve into the lore through discovering hidden artifacts, engaging in meaningful dialogue with NPCs, and unearthing the secrets of the game world. The allure of uncovering the mysteries and unraveling the story behind the expansive open world contributes to the enduring fascination with these games. Now, while open world games have gained immense popularity and captured the attention of millions of gamers worldwide, it's also important to recognize that there are certain downsides associated with this obsession surrounding the genre. While they offer captivating experiences and limitless exploration, open world games also bring forth potential negative effects. And these effects may include issues related to time consumption, repetitive gameplay, a lack of focus, and just potential extra added hours into a game that don't actually add good value into the game. And speaking of the amount of time added, one of the significant downsides of this obsession with open world games is the sheer amount of time it demands from players. These games often provide vast landscapes and numerous side quests, leading to countless hours of gameplay that don't actually progress the story or progress the game in a meaningful way. Open world games, especially those belonging to established franchises, They suffer from a lack of innovation and repetitive gameplay mechanics. I'm looking at you, Ubisoft. Due to the vast size of their worlds, developers often face challenges in creating diverse and engaging content throughout the entire game, and consequently players may encounter repetitive quests, similar gameplay mechanics, and recycled environments, leading to a sense of monotony and diminished excitement. And this repetitiveness can dampen the overall gaming experience and contribute to a decline in interest and engagement with the genre over time. And I think we are reaching that point of fatigue where there's a lot of gamers who still enjoy open world games. I myself am someone who loves open world games, but every time a new open world game is announced, I sort of have to look at the upsides and downsides, and I'm just kind of like, is it gonna be a good game with good content, a good storyline, or is it gonna be a good game that ends up letting itself down by just being bloated by so many unnecessary side quests and just filler content to add to the hours of the gameplay without actually adding some good value to the gameplay? And that's why I always give the example of games that just have endless side quests, because there's games that could take you 20 hours to complete, and then there's games that boast about having 150 hours worth of content. But do you really need 150 hours worth of content? Like, if you're not a live service game that needs to constantly and just be played over and over and over again repetitively, I don't think there's really a need to have so many hours of content if it's not actual substantial content. And speaking of said content, open world games are notorious for their overwhelming amount of content. Again, while this can be seen as a positive aspect in terms of providing players with numerous choices and opportunities, it can also overwhelmingly detract from the focus and direction of the game, with countless side quests, collectibles, and hidden secrets scattered throughout the vast landscape. Players can easily become lost or distracted, resulting in a lack of progress in the main storyline or the abandonment of the game altogether. Now, the abundance of content may lead to a fragmented and diluted experience, hindering the player's ability to fully immerse themselves in a cohesive and engaging narrative. So there has to be a balance between, keeping the player's attention. I know a lot of games use this where they have side quests or things pop up within every 15 to 20 seconds of the player just exploring. But you also have to make that content meaningful so that the player doesn't stray too much off the storyline, or you make it very involved with the storyline. That way you're still progressing the story at a regular pace. You don't have to go off and do silly side missions and side quests to be able to, for example, like do some stupid collectibles to like level up your player, or the kind of sweaty things people always do to grind, and then like come back to the main story. It should feel like one smooth flowing experience, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, the reason why I just wanted to make this video was to touch on the pros and cons of the obsession we've seen in recent years with developers just choosing to make more and more open world games, and just to highlight that this obsession comes with its pros and cons, as with anything. It's not inherently bad and it's not inherently good. I think overall developers have to sort of find that middle ground where either you're trying to make a game that's really bloated and has a lot of hours worth of content, or you're trying to make a game that's going to keep players engaged just enough to the point where there's not too much content, but there's also not too little content, where the world and everything else going on around it sort of contributes to the overall experience and the overall enjoyment of the game itself. And I always reference games like The Witcher and Red Dead Redemption 2, where those games have a shitload of content, but those games don't inherently get you bored. Those games feel like masterpieces. They feel like a sort of, if I could describe them in series format, I would say if you've ever watched Breaking Bad or The Wire, where they're sort of slow burners, but once they hook you in, they just keep you hooked. So that's where I would describe games like The Witcher and games like Red Dead Redemption 2, where they have hundreds of hours of content, but it's hundreds of hours worth of value content and not just meaningless side quests and just meaningless things all over the place to try and keep the player engaged. But yeah, simultaneously, I think that's where there also needs to be a balance, where sometimes a game can be open world but also be linear, and this is something we saw God of War do, for example, where you can still explore and go around the world, but it's still somewhat linear storytelling. Even The Last of Us, that's a very linear game, and it's by no means open world, but they did give a sense of opening up the environment to let you explore, let you wander around, let you do things at your own pace while maintaining that linear narrative. So I think ultimately the sweet spot is sort of in that middle ground. So overall, just to conclude, the obsession with open world games can be attributed to their ability to provide limitless exploration and freedom, immersive experiences, player agency, and rich lore. I think the appeal lies in the unique blend of freedom, immersion, and personal agency. It is likely that the allure of open world games will only grow stronger, captivating gamers with their expansive virtual worlds and endless possibilities. And I myself hope that if this happens, it does indeed end up having a positive impact in the gaming world rather than a negative impact like we saw with the emergence of things like microtransactions and all sorts of little silly unwanted things in the industry. But that comes part and parcel as each industry grows and each industry learns. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, stay blessed, stay dangerous, and peace out. And by the way, whenever I say peace out, you can still watch the rest of the video, because I do leave up the end of the video just so that my voiceover is not there, and then it gets to the end of the video. There's usually some outtakes at the end, but
your location is compromised.
Oh! Where'd he go? Oh, he went up there. I wanted the kill. I didn't get a single one.
right there.
Shit.
Imagine having to put down your own brother.
Oh my god.
Oh. Died last time. Come on, let's go. Woo. Let's go. It's those father-son moments again. Oh, but now Freya's here as well.
That if you just build great games, everything would turn around.
And then the great games point is the one that I wanted to argue against heavily, because what is the point of your console if it's not for games? Like, what is the point of having a console if you're just gonna do Game Pass and cloud gaming? Like